Hi, my name is Tina. I'm head of design of Victoria Designs, and we have a brand new junk journal project pack for you. A junk journal project pack is a digital pack that contains every printable you need to make a specific journal. And the one we're going to show you today is the Dragonfly junk journal project pack. However, this time I'm not going to be the one who's going to show the tutorial to you. Myself, I'm very busy working on something huge. And no, I'm not going to tell anything. My lips are sealed. This amazing tutorial is created by and will be shown by Martina. She has her own crafty YouTube channel called Teal and Tattered. I'll put a link below, make sure to pay her a visit. But first, let me show you what exactly you will receive when you purchase this Dragonfly junk journal project pack. The pack contains printables celebrating the beautiful creature that is the dragonfly. These rather shabby chic looking designs have a really sweet color palette with mints and soft pinks, and the details are stunning. When you purchase this project pack, you will get 24 journal pages, 6 sheets with embellishments and 8 vertical papers. And of course, Martina will show you how to put this journal together from scratch. You can discover this Dragonfly junk journal project pack in our shop, the link is below. And now Martina is going to show you how to make this amazing junk journal. Enjoy!
Hi everyone, welcome to this video in which we are going to be making a soft cover junk journal from start to finish together using the beautiful Dragonflies junk journal project pack from Victoria Designs. And while I'm flipping through the beautiful papers in this kit, let me just briefly introduce myself to those of you who are watching this video on the Victoria Designs YouTube channel. So my name is Martina and I'm a crafter from Poland, and I love sharing my passion for crafting, for paper crafting, for journal making, for creative memory keeping. This is what I do here on YouTube, and I am very happy to be working with Victoria Designs. I have been making design team projects for them for about 3 months now, and I was so happy when they asked if I wanted to do this official tutorial for this new journal pack that they will have or that they have today in their shop when you are watching this. And so thank you, Victoria Designs, for your trust in me. Thank you for allowing me to do this. I really had so much fun with this project. I truly love this kit, the colors, the patterns. It's also beautiful. So I hope you will enjoy creating a junk journal with me. And just in case you're wondering, all the materials and all the measurements will be in the description. I will be mentioning them as we go, but if you get lost or if you need some more detailed instruction or detailed measurements, do check the description box. It will all be there for you. So today we will be making a soft cover junk journal, and I am starting with just a piece of lightweight cardstock. This is like a 120 GSM, really nothing special, because what we will do with it will reinforce it and will make it much more sturdy. So definitely you don't have to use a very thick cardstock. I folded it in half. It was an A4 sheet, so now it's an A5 sized journal, and now I am flipping through those full-sized sheets that you get in the kit and just looking what I would like to use as my cover front and back. And I decided on these 2 beautiful pages, and I really had a hard time to decide because all of them were so beautiful. So this one with the flowers and the note paper is going to be my front, and the dragonflies is going to be my back cover. So here's a little trick or a little tip for you. I have a piece of vellum or tracing paper which is the exact size of my cover, and what you saw me do is it allowed me to choose a piece of this bigger paper that I printed, the exact piece that I wanted on my cover. So it's just a little tip, you know, it's what I like to do to kind of see what my cover is going to look like. Definitely it's worth trying. Just cut a piece of vellum the size of your front and back cover, and then you can place it on your paper and see what parts of the paper will be on your cover. So I just measured where I wanted to cut the pages, kind of following the what I could see underneath my vellum, and now I'm just cutting them down. So the way I cut them is that there is an excess on top, on the bottom, and also on the right hand side here, as you will see a little bit closer in a moment. And I will be aligning the left side, so the side which will be very near my spine, exactly to the spine of my journal. So I am using two adhesives here. I'm using double-sided tape for the middle of the cover, and also some wet glue. This is a tacky glue for the outside, because I am going to be stitching, machine stitching through my cover, and this glue dries very quickly and it does not hurt my machine at all, but I would not like to sew through double-sided tape. So as you can see, I am aligning this one edge exactly to where my spine is, and if it's not aligned exactly, don't worry, we will be able to fix it a little bit later. And I have the excess on 3 sides, like I mentioned, and these 3 sides we are going to be folding. So this will give us the ability to reinforce the edges of our cardstock that we are using for the cover. And yeah, it will be just more sturdy. And just in case you are wondering, I printed the digital kit on matte photo paper, again not very thick, about 120 GSM, and do check the description box for the pounds. I don't have them on hand right now, but like I mentioned, everything will be provided for you. So you could see I just cut the corners of my papers in this sort of a rounded way, and I am folding them like this. And if you are not new to journal making, then you probably know exactly what I'm doing. You probably do the same exact thing with fabric if you make fabric covered journals, but basically I'm just folding all the 3 sides to the inside, and they will be covered by the inside cover. So I'm going to glue them down, and we will have a little bit of a blank white space in the middle of the spine. As you can see, I cut it diagonally near the spine to make sure that when I fold the journal, when I fold the cover, it just folds comfortably, and you know, there is no paper kind of folding. So I did cut it diagonally. It will leave me with a little bit of a white space, which you will especially see when I do the same exact thing with the back cover, but don't worry about it at this point. We will be covering it up, and it won't be visible. It's just so that you can close and open your journal comfortably. So I'm just gluing the edges, and like I said, I'm going to do the exact same thing with the back cover. Look how pretty it looks. I really love this paper. I'm so happy I decided to choose this one, and it really looks so nice as a cover. Here you can see that I did not align my paper perfectly, and that's okay. I'm just trimming the excess, you know, so that again I can open and close my journal comfortably. And now for the back, I did cut this footage. I did not want this video to go for too long, but you guys can just follow the same steps as we did for the front cover, and you will have the back and front together. So here is another tip or a thing that I like to do when I'm making soft cover journals which are covered with paper, and this is reinforcing my spine with some kind of fabric or lace. So you know, when you are making a paper-based journal cover, then of course paper is much more likely to tear than fabric, and especially when you are sewing your signatures and packing it full with papers and all the good stuff inside, your cover may just you know, take a little bit of beating, and to reinforce the spine, to make sure nothing tears, I always like to put a piece of fabric or a piece of lace on the spine. So what you just saw me do is I just used my vintage photo distress oxide to go over the edges to give them a little bit of definition, and now I am choosing this piece of lace which is quite sheer. I chose this particular lace because I could still see the dragonfly on the right hand side on the front cover through it, and I am just using my wet glue, adding a little bit to it, to my spine, smooshing it with my finger so it does not seep through the fabric, and I'm just gluing it down. And I'm not using too much glue, I'm not kind of making sure it's glued down very well, just because I am going to be stitching all around the front cover. So if you are not stitching, just you should probably make sure that you use enough glue to for your lace to just hold in place. So even though the paper on the front cover is beautiful and already decorated, I just wanted to do a little bit more to it, add a little bit more to it. So I went through the beautiful ephemera that comes with the kit, and I chose this label piece. It's a gorgeous teal color, very distressed. I added some distressing on the edges with my ink as well, just to make it kind of stand out. I'm gluing it to my cover, so this is the place where the owner of the journal maybe will be able to write the dates where they start and finish the journal, or maybe the name, or if it's a gift, then the name of the recipient. I just like to add some kind of place for customization when I make soft cover journals. But that's not the end. What I'm doing now is I am picking 4 metal brads, and I'm going to be adding them onto the cover. And this is, if you know me, if you've watched any of my videos before, you know how I love texture, how I love things to be tactile. So this is just adding a little bit more texture and a little bit more interest to this label. So I am going in with my awl. This is the pokey tool that you see here, and I am making 4 holes in 4 corners of this label. Now I am putting my brads through all 4 at the same time, and then on the other side you will see that I just bent those little arms of the brads that come to the other side. I bent them so they are as flat as possible, and here it is. And you don't have to worry about them being visible, because we are still going to do the to add paper to the inside covers and cover them up. So definitely, if you want to do it before you add your end pages. And now we are indeed going to be adding end pages, and I'm again flicking through those full-sized pages to look for 2 pages that particularly spoke to me. And again, all of them basically spoke to me, so I just had to make a choice, and I chose these beautiful dragonflies to the inside front cover and those beautiful distressed like teal watercolor look for the back cover. And I'm using the same trick with vellum to just see where my cover is going to go, you know, what piece of the image I want. It's especially helpful when you have a paper like the one on the left with the dragonflies, where you don't want to cut in the middle of the dragonflies. You kind of want to have it even, or I do. I want to have it even. I want the dragonflies to be centered, so it definitely helps to have this piece of vellum which is the exact size of my cover. And I roughly marked where I want to cut. Now I'm going to first cut where I marked, but then you will see me measuring my inside covers and then trimming those papers a little bit more. So I am going to make them just a tad bit smaller than my cover. It will be maybe 1/4 of an inch on each side, or maybe a little less. So here I'm measuring the inside cover, and again I'm going to go back to my paper trimmer and trim them a little bit more, because I don't want them to kind of stick out of the cover, of course, but I also want them to be shorter so that you can see the pieces of the papers that we folded. I don't know, I just like the look. I don't like my end pages to be exact size of my inner covers. I like them a little bit smaller, and you will see here what I'm talking about. You can see a little bit of these papers peeking through. And again, do not worry about the white in the middle, because we are going to be reinforcing the spine even more. I do believe that adding a piece of lace or a piece of fabric would look great here as well, on both inside and outside of the spine when you are making a paper-based or cardstock based cover. Just reinforce it, gives you this security, and especially when you are stitching your signature into the cover and you're literally just punching holes through your spine, you can be sure it won't tear because the fabric is reinforcing it. So I of course inked up everything around. My subscribers know how I love inking up all of my edges. It just gives my projects, I believe, this finished look. I know not all crafters do it, and I also I love a lot of crafters. I follow them, I love their work, who don't ink up, but when I try to have something which is not inked up, I don't know, I just don't like it as much. So here I'm just trimming the excess of this lace. I always like to cut a longer piece that I am going to need, just in case, you know, it's always better to cut off the excess than to have too little. So here what I'm showing you is I just took this cover to my sewing machine, and I don't know if you can see because I used a very light pastel peach colored thread, but I just stitch all around, and I just like the look and the texture it gives. So here I'm folding the papers to make my signatures. This is going to be one signature journal, and first of all I am folding all the pages from the kit and just folding them in half, and I decided to use all of them. It's going to be a one chunky signature, as you will see, but I just could not kind of choose which one I wanted to leave out, so I chose all of them. I'm also choosing some papers that I usually add to my journals. You don't have to. This kit is definitely all you need to make a beautiful junk journal, but I just thought, well, I wanted a little bit more variation with the paper textures and sizes and types. This is what I like to do in my journals, and this is what I like to have in journals that I work in. So I chose some coffee and tea stained pages. These colored papers here are dyed with fabric dye. I have some empty music notes page, and then of course book pages. I love adding book pages, botanical flower book pages to my junk journals. So I always choose book pages. I buy used books on Amazon, and on Amazon you can always like choose the quality of the used book. So I always look for the worst quality, and they often come with like a little bit of damage to the cover, or some of the pages may be damaged, but I don't mind it, you know. I feel like I'm giving these books kind of a second life, a second purpose, by adding them to my junk journals, by making sure they are not forgotten and they are actually used. So I will also leave the titles of the exact books that I use, titles and authors, in the description. So if you would like to use the same books, then you will be able to do so. So just flipping through the books, I'm choosing one page from each book, I believe, and then 2 pages from this big botanical book because I love it so much, and the paper is nice and thick, just perfect for some journaling. I'm folding them all in half. I also chose this paper doily just merely for decoration, really. There's not much journaling that you can do with a paper doily like this, but it will look very pretty when we flip through the pages, as you will see in a few minutes. And here I'm using my paper trimmer as a sort of scoreboard, which makes folding those pages, especially those thicker pages, much easier, and just folding them in half. One of them is just going to be folded in half, and the other one will have a little fold out as well. Now for the fun part. This is the part that I really love. So making our signature, and if you are new to journal making, a signature is just a booklet out of papers that you are then going to be binding into your journal cover. So we are going to be making one signature, so one booklet for this journal. I chose a lot of papers, so this one is going to be a chunky one. Probably if you are a beginner, I would suggest going with a fewer papers, maybe just the kit pages, because it makes it easier to bind. But yeah, I'm just mixing and matching the papers. I'm trying to keep the things interesting here. So I have all the different sizes and textures and types of papers mixed together, and it will make flipping through this journal so much more interesting, and also working in this journal so much more interesting, because I always make my junk journals so that they are worked in, so that they are being used, and you know, I just want to kind of keep things interesting and give you a whole variation of papers to choose from. So yes, I'm trying to kind of match them color wise when I use this green paper here. This is fabric dyed paper. I'm making sure the next page does have some green on it, but I'm not being very particular about it. And for the middle of the signature, I'm just adding this beautiful landscape from this poetry book that I have. And yeah, this is it. As you can see, it's very chunky. I'm just going to make sure it fits my cover. Fortunately, it fits perfectly. So I am just going to bind it now. And what you will need is just some thread. I'm using linen thread and awl, which is this pokey tool. I have a big paper clip which is going to hold my papers and cover in place when I poke through them with my awl. And I also have this book again that I'm going to be, you saw it when I was poking through holes in the cover for the brads, but it just makes it so much easier when you can poke your holes through something. So I'm not measuring anything here, I'm just going to poke 3 holes in the spine, so in the crease of my pages where they are folded. I'm eyeballing it, just if you want it to be kind of more exact, just make any kind of template for yourself or measure where you want your holes. And like I said, I'm going to be using a linen thread and a simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And usually with a pamphlet stitch you go from the inside, but here I'm going from the outside, and you will see soon why. So I'm going through the middle hole. I'm using this plier to kind of help me with my needle, and then up through the top hole all the way down through the bottom hole, and then I will be going back through the middle hole and tying my threads, my loose threads, on the outside of the cover, just double knotting them. So yeah, this is like a very simple tutorial on the pamphlet stitch, making sure my thread is nice and tight, double knotting them, and I am going to leave those strings long because here's another thing that I love doing when I am making softcover journals. There's one signature softcover journals, and it is beading the strings that I have here on the spines, adding some beads or charms or buttons on them, and this is what I'm doing here, just picking some beads. This is my little box of happy. I have my beads, not all of them, I have the a second box just like this, but I'm just going to pick some beads which are which match the cover basically, so some pinks, whites, creams, golds, blues, anything really, just a mix and match of pretty beads, and I'm going to add them to those strings as you will see here in the moment. And what it does, it gives your cover just a little bit more decoration, just a little bit more something really. I love the sound they make when you pick your journal, and they just look really pretty. So I usually do it when I am making those smaller journals. I just add beads to the strings on the spine. So this is what I'm doing here, just making sure I mix different colors, different sizes, different shapes of the beads together to keep it interesting. And here on the close-up you can see what I ended up with. So I think it's really pretty. And the last thing that we are going to do to finish our journal in this tutorial is making a closure. And for this particular journal I decided to just punch a hole on the back cover. I'm measuring to have it kind of in the middle. I'm punching the hole. I'm going to add an eyelet through the hole, and I have those cute like flower shaped eyelets that I got online. So just adding an eyelet, and then I'm going to browse through my collection of ribbons. I've been kind of on a kick for organza ribbons, so this is what I'm going to choose, but you can use thread, you can use sari silk, you can use any kind of ribbon you like. I'm going to go with this pale pink one because it just matched the cover perfectly, and I'm choosing quite a long piece of it, and I'm folding it in half, so it's quite long, and you will see in a moment why. I just want to make like a wraparound closure. So I'm just threading it through the eyelet, like you can see here in the screen, and it will give me a nice wraparound. I think I can wrap it around twice my journal. And now to add a little bit more interest still to the journal and to the closure, I'm going to add a key charm to this to the front. So this will not only give me some more decoration, but it will kind of make a weight on the on the end of the closure, as you will see, and it will just be easier to close it down and for it to stay closed. So I'm just adding it to the end of my two ribbons here, and I will just double knot it on the end, and when we wrap it around, you will see how nicely it just kind of adds the weight to the closure and helps it just stay close. And yeah, here is the journal. So I hope you enjoyed this project. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for crafting with me. Here is a final flip through for you. I hope you learned something new, maybe got a little bit inspired. And to those of you guys who are watching this on my channel, thank you so much for joining me again. And yeah, do check the description box for all the details, all the measurements, and the details on the kit. And I will speak to you very soon in my next video. Bye!
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really like Martina's tutorial. Please give this video a thumbs up if you do, and if you would like to discover the Dragonfly Junk Journal project pack in our shop, the link is below. And I wish you a beautiful day. Bye bye.